and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, sponsored by his local tire company, Mr. Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I am doing great, buddy. I'm glad to be here. I am ready to roll tonight. It's very exciting. I'm in a very excitable state right now.
Yeah, man. Like, anyone who's a longtime listener of this podcast knows a couple of things. One, no matter what, we are Marvel loyalists and we will watch them all. But they also should know that it's been a struggle lately. I've been on the struggle bus maybe a little bit more because I didn't like Daredevil a little bit. You know, I was a little more down on it than you. But even still, it's been the Disney Plus stuff was a hard for us. You have Captain America Brave New World really struggled. And in fact, it was one thing. We're going to talk about Thunderbolts, guys. I'm sure you have figured out where we're going with this. But I feel like right after the movie, there was a feeling that I saw with my brother, and we immediately were like, what's the best thing since Endgame? And we had to try to see, does this qualify? Like, where does it rank and all those type of things? And I love the fact that that was a positive conversation coming out of a movie after all the times that I've been coming out of these movies and just being like, God, where the fuck is Marvel's head? What are we doing here? All that. And I'm happy to report that at least it seems like that not only are we going to be happy, joy in the Thunderbolts camp, but that the world seems to be happy, joy in the Thunderbolts camp. It's not unanimous. I have talked to some people on the street, friends of ours, fellow podcasters who may be ambivalent or worse on Thunderbolts, and we'll get into that in a minute. But Shane, what was your feeling Thunderbolts weekend? We were kind of like, is this going to be just another also ran in the Marvel canon, especially being so deflated after Captain America?
Yeah, buddy, I'm with you on that. But the trailers kept raising my expectations for this movie.
Okay.
Like, if for some reason, like, it just started raising. I'm like, you know what? This has a chance.
Yeah.
This has a chance to be good. And I'm like, coming off of Captain America, I kind of had similar vibes, but not as deep as this one. I'm like, this one looks good.
Right.
I'm like, all right. So, and I can't tell you how pleasantly surprised I was when I walked. Because I saw this with two buddies of mine. We had the same conversation. We're like, Spider-Man No Way From Home? Like, that was probably the best since Endgame, right? And I'm like...
Yeah, what's the timing on that one? Was that like just after? Because that was like right after Shang-Chi, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that the best one? But it was a great conversation to have because we haven't had that in forever.
Right.
It was like, this movie had all the feels. This movie just came out of left field because, again, it's about a bunch of side characters. It's not like the mainstream people that we grown in love with over the last 10 years. These are side characters from TV shows and other movies coming together, kind of like, Suicide Squad, right? It's the Marvel's version of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But Jesus did it work on so many levels. I thought it was deep. I thought they gave shine to other characters that we may have not liked, aka U.S. Agent, Captain America.
Yeah.
Like, it showed a deeper level to him. I thought Wyatt Russell was great, but the star of this movie is Florence Pugh, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
And just carried the whole emotional weight of the movie. And I love how they incorporated David Harbour's character into this movie.
Yeah.
It just was very funny, like just the way they just like slid him in there. And it was great. Like, the humor worked, the levity worked, the whole Sentry Void personality worked for me. It was, again, emotional. I love Sebastian Stan. He was great. Like, I don't have anything like negative to really say about this movie. It was just terrific. We'll talk about the end credit scene, but finally an end credit scene that carried weight and got us pumped up and actually is leading into something.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like holy shit, like, here it is. And I love how they're talking about Sam Wilson at the end of this movie about like the Avengers with a Z and all that kind of stuff. Like, I thought it was great, man. This movie just hit on so many levels and just worked. Julia Louis-Dreyfus as like the AKA villain or whatever,
right,
was was great. I love that end scene where she's by the curtain and she slips through and they're all in front of the press conference. I thought that was great.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Everything worked in this movie. Louis Pullman, fantastic, man.
Yeah.
I loved his portrayal as Bob. It was great, man. Like a good balance of just everything in this movie.
And I know this is Monday morning quarterbacking a little bit, but Steven Yeun was supposed to be Louis Pullman, as I understand it. And I just think that wouldn't have worked. And I like Steven Yeun a lot. I just don't see where that would have worked. But this is, again, directed by the guy who did Beef. So that correlation, that relationship, you might have seen a different register where it might have worked. I don't want to poo-poo something that never happened, so I won't do that. But I do want to get into some of the stuff you were saying, because the characters is really like some of the red flags, I guess you could put. Like, even if you like the trailers or these other things, you're just like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to get into a movie that's basically like the scraps? Like, how many times did we say with Captain America Brave New World, like, oh, so you made this movie with the backbone being the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and like just like a bunch of stuff that just barely worked or didn't work before? That was your smart plan? That's what you wanted to do? And this one easily could have been like, so you tossed together people from Black Widow, the second Ant-Man movie, the
Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Yeah, I mean Falcon and Winter Soldier again, because you got U.S. Agent, you got Julia Louis-Dreyfus, you got a bunch of all those things, and again, so you're dipping into Disney Plus characters, which again, when is that worked? Where you're like, oh yeah, the Marvels, great idea, dip into the Marvel or Ms. Marvel and all these other ones, and I'm supposed to care about those. That didn't work either. So this had the giant red flags. The difference is the writing. And this movie, it's about, it's after finding themselves ensnared in a death trap, an unconventional team of anti-heroes must embark on a dangerous mission that will force them to confront the darkest corners of their past. And I think that's it's a light sell, because one of the things, and I want to highlight, like I said, the writing here, written by Eric Pearson, who's written on Marvel stuff in the past. So you would be like, including Black Widow, that you would just be like, oh, well, he's kind of the B squad writers or whatever too, like, and can dismiss it. But I think the construction here is brilliant, because as you noted, they put the right people up front. They put Florence Pugh as basically the centerpiece, backstopped by David Harbour, who's a veteran, loves the genre stuff. He gets to ham it up. But also has enough depth and range as an actor that he can be the emotional scenes with Florence Pugh on that as well. But really, the thing that I came out of this movie saying was, oh, this is two things. One, this is Marvel's way forward. This is a way for them to do a relatively standalone movie that can feature not this bloated time, like runtime, or a CGI fight that like gets very like eye rolly in the end. How many times have we said that? Even on movies that we kind of like how they just end in like this CGI superhero nonsense, and you're just like, oh, this is stupid. They also have these movies that are also influenced by like, say, like a 70s conspiracy thriller, or like this 80s or 90s action movie or whatever. And it's like, some of them are fine. Some of them are like, this is, just director bullshit, as they like to say. This movie, because they took guys who are not normally within the Marvel system or even in the action realm all that much. You talk about the guy from Beef at the helm. This does actually feel like it has different influences on the brain, and then adds in the action and humor to make it better. And the headline that I would have written if I was doing this is Eternal Sunshine of the Marvel Mind, because the end of this movie, not only is mental health and all these struggles and everything else a big framework of this movie, but the end of the movie ends in almost that way of like Eternal Sunshine, where you're going from like memory to memory and going through and doing all that. And it works because it still gets some action scenes in it, but it means way more. It's way more grounded, personal, everything else, even with getting a very strong superhero, supervillain type of character ending.
Totally agree with everything you said. Like, again, I don't have a lot of negative things to say about this movie.
No.
I just thought the casting and the character writing is what stood out. Like, it balanced everything. You got, Winter Soldier's thing, and it just I don't know, man. It just worked, and it was refreshing from a project that most people would just dismiss, like Thunderbolts. What the hell is that? Like, whatever. Yeah. But like, out of the blue, they got back to what worked for them. You know what I mean? Like, and it was the depth of this movie that I liked. I liked them in their own memories. I liked seeing Captain America like struggling with the newborn. That whole scene where he's holding his son, he's not paying attention to him. You know what I mean? Like, and he just wants redemption. He just wants to like make up for mistakes he's made in the past. I just thought, and even Ghost, I even cared about her. I was like, that's cool. Like, I liked her more in this movie. Who knew? Like you said, from Ant-Man 2. Like, I liked her character in this. Like, but no, Florence Pugh was great. I just, oh man, it's just so good. Like, I want to see it again. Like, it's just, and everyone kind of knew, spoiler alert, like the whole Taskmaster thing. I heard stuff about that, but really.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I heard people were upset about like not giving that person a shine, but she didn't have any shine to begin with because she was like an android to begin with. So it's like, she didn't have a lot of personality. If I thought anyone was going to go, it was going to be her to begin with.
I didn't love how they just kind of
it came abruptly. Quick, right at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was fine with it. But man, it's just so good to talk glowingly about a Marvel movie again. Like,
it's true.
And to get to the end credits, so this is my thought, obviously, spoiler alert again. Like what we saw in the spoiler, I think that obviously is going to be the end of, that's going to be like the end scene of Fantastic Four leaking into.
Which I didn't like that as an end credit scene.
I did, man.
I didn't because it ruins like a movie that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah. I mean, I can see your point, but it also at least, again, and I forgot who I was talking with, is like it's better than the end sequence we got like in Doctor Strange 2 where Charlize Theron pops out, which is going to lead to nowhere, by the way. Like,
sure, but at least it didn't like tip or spoil something potentially that's coming out in like 2 months. So that bothered me slightly.
Okay,
with that.
All right.
And again, I laughed, like you said, the David Harbour stuff, the Avengers I was with all that and everything else. And in fact, I guess if any part of this movie, quote, didn't love or like just it wasn't as good as the rest of the movie, it is kind of the look forward, because every time I see stuff online now where it's like, oh, they're the new Avengers, I don't like that thought, because we just kind of laid it out a little bit. It's like, okay, Florence Pugh worked great in this movie. Her and her father, Red Guardian, however you want, Alexei or whatever you want to call him, David Harbour, they work well together. But I think it works well for this movie, and I don't know how much I'm going to love that going forward. And U.S. Agent, again, I think worked well because he needed to be the dickhead to kind of make the Bob thing go back and forth. And so it worked for this movie. I just don't know when you're going to like put them next to like, quote unquote, the A-team, that I'm going to be enthused or want to see it going forward. Ghost, even worse, because they really used her in a very limited capacity. And then Bob can't use his powers without going dark. So what am I hoping for going forward with that group? And especially if they're quote unquote in lockstep or a cautiously optimistic situation with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, as Valentina. It's like you can't trust her. You don't know what's going on with that. And it's not exactly like how I felt after the first Guardians, where I was like, okay, this team is hilarious. It's fun. It's got a great mix. all that stuff. Can't wait for Guardians 2. This one I was like, great one-off. Not sure how I feel about some Avengers mashup stuff for, I guess, what's going to come down the pike with, you know, the Doomsday stuff into Secret War stuff, or any where we're going to get multiverse again or whatever. It just feels like for a minute I just got to like something, and then it just turned into, I don't want to think about all that stuff because it looks like you're just going to ruin it.
Right. And I didn't go. Right. And I didn't forecast that far ahead. I just kept being in the moment with everything because I assume, even though they call them the new Avengers, I just think that's going to pivot really quick based on the next movies coming out. So I didn't really hang with it knowing, okay, this is the team going forward. I just enjoy the moment and what they were in. And I'm like, okay, this is fun. This is fun.
Yeah.
So.
But like I said, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to poo-poo something that we like. It's just, I wish they had more one-offs. Like, even we were talking about Fantastic Four, even just on a trailer level or anticipation level, that my hope was, I wish we could have just gotten a Fantastic Four movie standalone, see if I like these people before they're the central part of this universe that's going to go forward. Because Robert Downey Jr. got to do a couple, movies as Iron Man before we got off on wherever we went. Captain America got 2 movies that are mostly his movies before we got into Civil War, disrupting that, and then into the Avengers movies or Ultron or any of these other ones. And Thor, same thing.
Yeah.
And even, they botched the whole thing, but you get it. Right.
But I just think at this point I don't want to say they're playing catch up, but I just think they have to, in their minds, they have to speed things up. Like they don't have that runway that they used to have where we have patience with them. Like, all right, we're going to get this and that. Yeah. I just feel like, all right, they're going to have to pivot strong because, again, we've talked about it. There's superhero fatigue. There's people that don't want to see these movies anymore and blah, 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 blah. I just feel like after this with Fantastic Four, I just feel like they kind of like how DC felt like they're always catching up to Marvel. Like they're fast forwarding their process.
Yeah.
Just to try to match what Marvel's doing. And that was their big mistake. So I think kind of Marvel's, in my mind, in the kind of the same way, it's like, well, we haven't done anything. Phase 5 has been garbage. So, let's go ahead and give the people what they want and just, blah. So that's kind of where I feel they're at right now.
Yeah, nothing's changed to where Fantastic Four is still carrying a lot of load on their shoulder. I think it would have been just that much worse if this movie's bad. But the fact that it's good will at least let people take their time with Fantastic Four. Like, we're not going to be as impatient for something good because we just got one. So that's good.
Thank God.
And, it definitely washed a lot of the bad tastes of recent stuff out of my mouth. I can't, but like I said, because of where that end credits scene landed, it didn't make me go, I'm optimistic for Marvel's future based on this movie, because it's kind of more of a one-off, or the next part doesn't excite me as much. But I will say, I don't know if I fully finished the thought, but like, to be the way forward kind of thing is, I just like that this movie had other things on its brain than just where we are in this phase or where the next villain is coming from or whatever. It just was a smart way to be outside of the box and make it more standalone for one fleeting moment in this thing that feels like it just, everything has to mean something to the next, to the next, to the next, in this episodic way that Marvel goes. And I think even as far as generalized comic book storytelling, I do like the fact that, and I'm curious your thoughts on this one. So when I think, oh, well, it's kind of cool that a comic book movie is thinking about Eternal Sunshine or being John Malkovich or some other strange, extraneous, or maybe more emotional or whatever type of thing to add to this. Because that's what made, I think, something like Winter Soldier better. I think that was more of an action movie because it wasn't as superhero-y, even though he's on super serum, I get it. But it's still more ground level. There's not dudes flying through the air or whatever as much. in a movie like that. So they made it into like this conspiracy thriller and made it kind of unique. This one, I think, being more personal and thinking about other stuff, it's not only that it's changing the like style of movie, but now, Shane, you and I are no spring chickens. We are in our 40s. I'm feeling it because my birthday is tomorrow. And I feel like the more movies I've been watching lately, and we talked about this a lot with Sinners, our taste and the things that we really liked, these directors that are getting big opportunities are our age now. Yeah. So I feel like we're getting this more and more where I'm like, I love this guy because he knows how to make good movies that his influences are our influences, or the things we like the most, or the things that we grew up with and loved. So now I think we're going to possibly get into an era based on our age where if the confluences come together, we can be in for a lot of really good stuff because we're going to see the seams, hopefully appreciate them, and not be like, well, it was better back when I was young, whatever. Yeah, not being that stingy about it. But it's kind of cool to see the advancement because you know where it came from and now you're seeing where it can go.
Yep. No, totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
That's also what I love about this movie as well. It's like you said, the whole being John Malkovich and just the different themes and depression and anxiety and just where you are as a person. And it just hit all those on just so many levels that, again, I wasn't expecting. I just wasn't expecting it. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting to be that kind of like just well written and layered and just character development and stuff. I just thought it was going to be a whim, bang, boom action flick. We see Sentry, we see a big CGA fight at the end. And like you said, away we go. You know what I mean? Like that's what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But it did totally set up to something different, and I appreciate it. And I'm like, this is what it was like, just a breath of fresh air. I was like, Jesus Christ, okay, finally, like, just something on a project that again is no name, like it's not your typical Captain America stuff. It's also rans, like you said, it's a bunch of also rans and side characters that they made you care for and just want to see more of at this point. So I'm just all on board, man. Like it was just so great to walk out of this film like, all right, we got something to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I feel like for people, the negative stuff I heard in this film, I just feel like they're on that Marvel train now where it's like they're just going to hate on everything.
So this is where I kind of want to say, for all the things that I was like, oh, here's the path forward, here's where we can have something different on the brain. I think the people who I thought I talked to felt like either A, they're longtime comic book readers where only recently the Thunderbolts changed into like a Suicide Squad thing. So that's new to them even on that level. And then also you have the old school Marvel fans who've been around since '08 where maybe they're just like, oh, I like my comic book heroes to like fight more, or there should be more action or any of that stuff. And I don't want to have the emo version of Marvel at any point. So there's that. And there are general, like, kind of complaints that I've heard, too, about Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's not the strongest villain.
No.
She's not exactly Lex Luthor or something, you know, because I did feel that a little bit. Did you feel the sort of, like, Gene Hackman standing next to, like, the Bizarro Superman kind of a thing?
Yep.
A little bit. So I did have, you know, what is that, Quest for Peace? Or that?
Quest for Peace.
Yeah, so I had that a little bit in my brain. But I love the fact that it's, like I said, it's way more Eternal Sunshine and Everything Everywhere All at Once. I could see being an influence on something like this as a actioner, but with emotion. It feels like it has more of that tempo. So I think the people who didn't like this, I don't want to speak for everybody. I'm sure there's different shades, but a lot of it I think is just people maybe not wrapping their arms around this style of movie.
That could be, but I also just feel like, again, we know all these people. We know some of these people.
We do.
Like, because Marvel's been in such of a downtrend lately. It's like, all right, so I'm just gonna hate Marvel for hating Marvel at this point.
Yeah.
Like, and for someone not to come out at least entertained by this film on any kind of level just boggles my mind, and I'm calling BS on it. I'm like, you're just full of crap. Especially because I know there's some people who thought Captain America was better than this movie.
That's
I'm like,
insane.
Right. And I'm like, what are you smoking? Like,
Yeah.
sit down and like seriously talk to me and just like let me know how you think Brave New World is in any way, shape, or form better than this movie that we just saw. Like, so I just think there's these inherent haters, and that's all I'll say. So come at me, people. I'm calling you out. Like, just stop hating.
Well, so now that means we're going to have to watch certain things to see how this movie will ultimately be remembered. So in the present, let's look at 7.7 IMDb, 68 Metascore, 88% Rotten Tomato with a 94% audience score, 3.8 Letterbox. It made $162 million, 76 of that domestically. So a couple of things. One, I hope, because the way the best or the better Marvel movies get remembered, at least like from a box office perspective, is, oh, this one was good and it had legs. It kept going. Like, how much did we just see with Sinners, where it had like a record, especially for, I think, an R-rated film, where it only had like a 6% drop from week 1 to week 2 because the buzz on that was electric and people went out and saw it in droves. This movie, 76, is less domestically than Captain America Brave New World. Now, not by a lot. I think it was like somewhere in the 80s. But overall, that movie didn't make like the buku bucks of other past Marvel films. So if we want to look going forward, I want to see what week 2, week 3, week 4 looks like. And if there's like a significant drop off, or it doesn't have the legs where people are going to see this like over and over and over, especially as we're going to get right into the teeth of this summer movie season, and like when's Fantastic Four?
4th of July weekend?
I think it's somewhere close to that at least. I'd have to double check. But
because Superman is like July 11th. I think Fantastic Four is a week before that.
I don't think it's a week. I think it's like 2 weeks before. But even still, it's close to that time. Probably just set up where there's not something huge on July 4th so they could just kind of own it. But that's not a lot of time. No. So Thunderbolts will get enough of a runway, and we'll see where it goes. And I want to see, because the next thing that it would, quote, be eclipsed by would be Mission Impossible.
Yep.
And that's not for what, 3 weeks?
3 weeks. So it has a runway. So, it has a chance to fly. So,
and it's crucial. Because those large formats like IMAX, XDs, whatever you want to call them, those are going to be theirs for a little bit, but not for long. So the big money that they can make on it is short term. So if they are not making their money in the next couple of weeks, then it's toast. It's just, that's the story. Right. So, but I think based on how good those ratings are, it should. But again, I want to see. Because again, we'll see. You and I, when was the last time we said I want to see a Marvel movie for a second time? And I almost did. I almost went back this weekend. Yeah, no, I want to see it again. It probably Endgame. It was probably that long ago. Yeah. Seriously, it's like, or the Spider-Man No Way From Home. That's the only thing, like, you know what? I'll go see that again. Yeah. I have not had that urge after any Marvel movie in the last at least 5, 6, 7 years. However long it's been. 5 years, 6 years. Yeah, because I will say 7 years. To bookend that conversation that my brother and I had, my brother who fucking hates everything, by the way, especially like he's like not even like a big Black Panther fan or any of these like some of like ones that are way more revered, and hates pretty much everything that's come out since Endgame. He was like, oh yeah, he had no complaints. And was like, that's the best thing since Endgame. So that I was like, wow, we're on the same page coming out of a Marvel movie. That's insane. So I know it's anecdotal, but it does speak something to me. And so I went through, you know me, Shane. All right. Rank time, right? So my initial rankings, I went through, and you know how I love my letterbox. And I think I put this. Now, I think we're up to what? Marvel movies somewhere like 36? Yep. Somewhere around there? Yep. I believe I put this at number 11, and it possibly could go higher. Wow.
Okay.
Nah,
But honestly, just
yeah, sorry.
coming off the top of my head, not having a fancy letterbox list like you have, I would honestly concur with that statement. Like, just going off the top, like we already have our top 5 and 8 cemented.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be upper echelon Marvel movies. This would slide in there. Yeah, I have no arguments about that. 11 sounds pretty good, to be honest with you.
So can I give you a general idea where we're at?
Yep.
So, because it's funny you mentioned No Way Home earlier. That's what I have at 10. And then also post Endgame, my number 12 and 13 are Guardians 3 and Deadpool Wolverine. So if you're saying it's in between those, that's kind of how I'm feeling about it. But if somebody wanted to sell me that it could get as high as probably 8, I might be able to do that on its best day. If I'm feeling froggy and about to leap. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, you're going to make me sit down tonight after this podcast, even though I'm tired as hell, rank my Marvel movies.
Do you want to hear the update? I know I kind of teased.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go on the way to Thunderbolts, okay? 1, Guardians of the Galaxy. 2, Winter Soldier. 3, Infinity War. 4, Iron Man. 5, Avengers. 6, Endgame. 7, Civil War. 8, Spider-Man Homecoming. 9, Black Panther. 10, No Way Home. 11, Thunderbolts, etc., etc.
Okay.
So the only one that some people would be like, well, where's Ragnarok? Or where's, I don't know. What is another one that somebody's going to throw at me? Because as we've noted lately, there's a lot of trash on the bottom of that heap. It's starting to pile up.
No, I would concur with that. In fact, in your list, I would probably rank it higher than Black Panther. But
that's where I was like, maybe it might climb.
You can sway me to get it to 9 on your list,
right?
Instead of 11. But yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. So isn't that nuts? That's movie
crazy.
That some people could be like, well, this is just a throwaway.
Yeah, exactly my point. This movie was not supposed to I don't know. It just again came out of left field. Breath of fresh air. Let's go.
So with that said, based on where I have that. Like I said, how many times we go, oh, this movie's this rank or this score in our minds. Well, based on that list, this is a 4 out of 5. And I'm very happy about that.
I'm right there with you.
Awesome.
I gave it, I left the theater. I'm like, this is a solid 4.
Yep.
Almost gave it a 4.5. I'm like, nah, it's a 4. It's a 4.
Yeah. Back to our conversation last week, there are some strong 4s and there's some weak 4s. I think this is a strong 4.
It's a strong 4. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent.
Look at that. Simpatico again.
I love it. So I guess final thought on Marvel and all this stuff. Where do you sit now? Because like I said, I put my feelings out there where I'm like, it does nothing to up or, tick up or tick down, give me any kind of confidence meter in Fantastic Four or the future.
No, I'm the same way. I'm happy and I'm enthused about this movie where it put me in a frame of mind where I'm at right now, but I'm not going to let it be fool's gold, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to all of a sudden just forget all your sins over the last 5 years. So that's not out of my mind yet, but I am going to embrace and love this film for what it is and not put too much stock into the future. So I'm just kind of a wait and see, and I'm hoping for the best is, I guess, the best way I can put it.
Yeah, I agree. It's a stabilizer. It didn't make my brain go, Marvel's dead. Fuck Fantastic Four, whatever. It's going to have to do so much. I didn't go there, but here we are. And still on our much anticipated list, still all going to be there. Yeah, I'm just hoping for the best out of it, and that's all we can really ask for at this point in the MCU project that we live in every friggin' day. Speed round, buddy. Just let's comb through the rest of the weekend. That was, first up, we both saw this movie, and it's worthy of talking about. The Surfer, starring Nic Cage, directed by Lorcan Finnegan, who did Vivarium and Nocebo, if anybody caught those films. I believe you said you watched Vivarium, but didn't remember much.
Didn't remember too much about it, right?
I don't see how I can not get to that place with the surfer. I think I will remember this movie for quite a while, positive and negative. But I will say, Shane, I liked it. I was sitting there. I'm like, this movie is so draining as a short movie and will just gnaw at you. It was disorienting. It was a little baffling. You might not have all the things line up by the end of the film. And yet, I still was like so satisfied when he finally snaps in this movie that I was just like, that's the purpose of the movie right there. It executed it well, and I can't be mad at it. And it's fucking bananas. So if you want something that's going to shake you up a little bit, be a little strange, be a little out of the box, and give you something that's not some straight down the middle, movie out there, this is the one.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's not the movie I thought it was going to be, because if you see the trailer, you think it's going to be like a revenge flick, like a straight, like they fucked with them, and all of a sudden he snaps and takes his... No. This just turns into like a mental marathon of like,
yes, what
is going on? There's parts of the movie where I'm like, is he just imagining this shit in his head? Is he the old guy all along?
Yep.
Like what is going on? Like, what is happening here? Like, his slow just unraveling and just thrown into despair was just a joy to see on film. Though it's one of those films, like, I'm glad I got to experience it, but I don't think it's, like, great for a second or third or fourth viewing. Like, it's not, like, a rewatchable movie in my eyes.
I'm interested, though. I want to take that leap, but go ahead. Yeah.
But just again, it's Nic Cage, and it's everything you want from a Nic Cage movie. It's hard to like explain this movie in totality of like what is going on. Like, again, it has you thinking: is it a dream? Is it in his head, or is he imagining all this? Like, what the? Because like just everything that keeps happening to him, you're like, when is he going to finally snap? Like, when is his breaking point?
Yeah.
And it was funny, like Julian McMahon, who plays like the Bodhi Cypher, monk guy of this surfer clan.
Yeah, Nip Tuck, baby.
Yeah. There was a point where they had the snippet of his TV interview, and he was like, people make people wait outside. And that's when I thought to myself, he's testing him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought this was, I kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
But man, and not to get like, I already gave it away, but like the whole rat scene just,
loved it.
There's like,
that's what I'm saying. When he lost his shit and finally broke, I was so happy for it.
But he's like digging through trash. I'm like, don't put that in your mouth. Just don't put that in your mouth. Like, don't do it. Like,
so
you're drinking that water. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's so good on so many levels, but it is like, you got to be buckled in and ready for this kind of movie, because it's not your typical movie is all I can say. It's hard to like wrap our thoughts around it, but it's trippy. It's trippy and it's out there.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, a man returns to the idyllic beach of his childhood to surf with his son. When he is humiliated by a group of locals, the man is drawn into a conflict that keeps rising and pushes him to the breaking point. That is the like bare minimum. And I love where this movie goes from that. With that said, I think it's a 3.5.
Same.
Yeah.
I walked out of the movie. I said, this is a 3.5.
Yeah. It's like very watchable, so gripping. The only question I would have for you, is this movie 10% more deranged because it's Nic Cage, and can you see anyone else doing that role?
Nope.
I was like, especially because it's Australian, I was like, if Guy Pearce is there instead of Nic Cage, is this a better or worse or same movie?
Oh, that's a good one. Guy Pearce, you brought up a good one there.
Yeah. Especially because like his hair in this movie kind of reminded me of like Memento hair.
Memento. Yeah. You're right. I just don't think Guy Pearce has that Nic Cage crazy in him. You know what I mean?
But I'm like, does it absolutely need that for this movie to sell? Or
I think so.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
All right. I'm willing to agree. Next movie, I caught these last two, so I'll do them quick. Legend of Ochi, saw this morning. Movie A24 trying to step out of their comfort zone, doing a kind of family movie as much as that is. It's like if, what is it? Is it David Lowery who did The Green Knight? I felt like in a way I was watching like if the guy who did Green Knight cared about making a children's adventure movie. Because it's really a one person thing. It has a little bit of a family thing to it, but Shane, it's weirdly straightforward, but it's also just strange in a classic A24 style. Like they can't do anything that is either, fully heartwarming, embracing family thing, but will also somehow make a creature that is like so adorable on a Gizmo Gremlins level that you're like, God, that's so cute. That's so cool. And it like had that kind of vibe because they did a really good job with I don't know what they did, whether it's like part CGI when it gets bigger, but like definitely had more tactile, like the fur and the look and whatever felt more real in the other. So I guess that's the positive. The look of this movie, the look of the creatures, the OG themselves, really good. A lot of like almost like travel porn. This is in Carpathia? No.
Sure.
Yeah. Because I think I remembered it being like, did they just say we're Vigo from Ghostbusters? I feel like that's what I did. But yeah, Legend of Ochi, very interesting film. But it's probably a 3 because it doesn't have enough story to me. Like it tries to get a little bit like how we treat new people, new species, communicating. It felt a little bit like these are warring factions, so there's always like modern political tones possibly to it too. But honestly, I thought like the dialogue was so basic and rudimentary at times that I was just like, all right. Like you probably could have worked on that a little bit more instead of just being like, this is dumb. Literally, those are said multiple times. But I was impressed with some of the performances as far as like just how much it's casted really well. I can't complain about that. Yeah, Helena Zengel, who's the lead, the girl who has the Ochi. She, if you saw News of the World or System Crasher, which was like a breakout movie that was on Netflix years ago, she's the lead here. Finn Wolfhard, Willem Dafoe, Emily Watson. Those two, especially because they're basically a couple that broke up. Helena Zengel's character is the daughter. So it's an interesting story between those two. But like as far as like strange character actor bingo, I'd put Willem Dafoe and Emily Watson right there at the top. So I think, again, very well casted, looks good in a lot of spots. Story's a little weak. So 3 out of 5, worth waiting for home or however you're going to consume it. I like that A24 took a chance. That's why I did too. And then Another Simple Favor, the sequel to A Simple Favor. Yikes. Amazon Prime, could tell it was there. It's a 2.
Oh,
probably. I was, checking my phone very early. The conceit is dumb enough considering where they are in their relationship as far as Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick's characters are on the fallout from the first one. So if you watch the first one, obviously you're going to watch the second one unless you really hated the first one. And I will say this one, the things that I thought were so far afield or very strange about the first one, they were like, cool, let's make that the centerpiece of what we're going to do in the second, and it just doesn't work. It's a tough sit. So I wouldn't recommend that one. I was trying to kind of save you there. You're like, I'll try to catch it out before. And I was like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, you were.
But yeah, a 2, just mostly for the fact that I like Anna Kendrick, I think. Otherwise, I could have maybe knocked this lower.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Because it's just silly. It's bizarre.
I'm gonna heed your advice on that one. Because I was going to squeeze it in last night, and my day got away from me, and I'm like, all right, maybe I'll watch it this week. But now it's like, all right, maybe I won't watch it this week. I
was struggling, man. And even like I said, I watched it with my girlfriend. She's a much bigger fan of the original than me. I like the original enough. I thought that was like a 3 out of 5, entertaining, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I gave it. Yeah.
And this just falls off a cliff,
Okay.
literally and figuratively.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Save me for myself.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that's all I got. This week, you are going to go full throttle with Josh Hartnett doing Bullet Train in the Sky for Fight or Flight or whatever that movie. I feel like we're getting that right. But yeah, I'm not even going to look at it because I'm very mildly interested. I was hoping the big centerpiece of our episode next week was going to be Friendship, the new A24 Paul Rudd. I think you should leave. Tim Robinson from I Think You Should Leave. Yeah, I think that's New York, LA Limited next week. So I think, even though you're in Hollywood South and sometimes you pull something out, and I'm close enough to New York that I thought maybe it would work. And maybe, who knows, maybe I will try to dip into New York on Thursday to try to go see it. But nope, probably not going to happen. So next week, we will have to get a little creative, more than likely, to try to get this to work. Anything else from you before we get on out of here?
No, that's about it, sir. Just like I said, looking to get my Josh Hartnett on this weekend.
Yeah, complete flip of the script. There's also, for anyone with my What's on Netflix stuff, I just dropped a top 5 Netflix original sequels listicle out there on the site. And this week's review is for Nona's, which stars Vince Vaughn. So that should be interesting. Because again, at least for us, hot off a Bad Monkey, he's at least on an uptick. So I'm interested for even just that. Will it be much? Because I can't quite tell the tone of the film. So, it seems more endearing, So hopefully that's the case. But is that where I want my Vince Vaughn? To be determined. So, but if you want to hear about all those things, including Shane's feelings about Josh Hartnett kicking some ass in the sky, be sure to subscribe now because you don't want to miss any of these conversations. So be back here next week for more recent activity.